can you give an example of some use cases where it makes more sense to procure in the local country versus in the host country, so to speak?
So from the TechX angle, procuring in country at destination, obviously it's enticing off the bat. When a client first, looks to deploy equipment in multiple locations, when they see the costs of shipping and importation, their first reaction is to see, okay, what can we get in country, and the problem with that model and mechanism is it's often not clear up front, what the all-in total cost is going to be of going into difficult countries, say Nigeria or South Korea, or places like that where you might have to deal with local resellers, cut local purchase orders, be exposed to local currency fluctuations, and all the uncertainty that goes with buying pieces of equipment from 30 different independent vendors rather than from one place, in the Synacom marketplace, in the host country. And often you will find clients coming up with quotes that don't include all the taxes, don't include the appropriate lead times for licensing that their vendors in country will need in order to get the goods to them on time. And what you land up with is a massive hodgepodge of promises which don't turn out to, materialize into a successful deployment. So clients land up in the situation where they make decisions based on incomplete information, and they land up, really under pressure when it comes time to deliver. Whereas on the central procurement model, where everything can be procured, say, locally in the United States, staged in the United States, and then shipped internationally after that, what you land up with is a cost upfront model where you know exactly what it's going to cost you to procure the equipment, to stage the equipment, and also to ship and deliver to all these different countries. And you have a reliable timeline which goes, along with that. So it brings certainty to the project. It brings certainty of timeline and cost. And then also you have a central project management function. So between TechX and Synacom, we then have total control over your global deployment. So Synacom can manage that stage and the lead times to get the assets, to their facility. Any sort of pre-staging work that needs to be done prior to shipping, gets done locally in the US on predictable timelines. And then once that's done, it gets handed over into the TechX network, and we then deliver along the predictable lead times that we provided at the inception of the project. And the great thing about that is all the costs were factored in end to end at the beginning by an experienced partner who has done that before, so it takes all the uncertainty and brings total transparency to the project, and gives you a much better chance, almost a certain chance at, successfully delivering, according to the timelines that you in fact might have promised your clients or your internal stakeholders.
That's a great point. I know a lot of vendors. Yeah, I know that's a great point. I know a lot of the vendors, if you're ordering from all different parts of the world, they're set up in sales teams that handle only their country. So you end up with a bunch of different deals you're trying to manage within that vendor also, not to manage, the maintenance contracts and everything else that goes with that. So that's a big thing.